Welcome back to your 6th grade math videos, and this video is about distributive property. This is also part 2. So our goals for this video are to use distributive property to rewrite the product of two whole numbers and also to rewrite the sum of two whole numbers. Before we get started, let's review greatest common factor. So we have 36 and we have 42. Remember, there's a couple ways you can find this. You can list the factors. You can also do the prime factorization of each. So that's how I'm going to do mine. When I think of 36, the first thing that came to mind was 3 times 12. 3 is a prime number, so I can stop there. 12, 3 and 4, and then 4, 2 and 2. So I have everything came to a stop with a prime number. 42, the first thing I think of is 7 and 6. 7 is a prime number, and then 6 goes to 2 times 3, which are prime numbers. So I'm looking for common prime factors. I have a 3, 1 3 here, and a 3 here, and then I have a 2 and a 2. Remember that when you're finding the GCF, you take those common factors, you multiply them, and our GCF is 6. Okay. Again, I didn't have multiple 3s or multiple 2s because my 42 only had 1 2 and 1 3. Okay. So there are different ways you can apply the distributive property. You can use it to solve hard multiplication problems like 8 times 54. Okay, you may not know 8 times 54, but you can take 54 and write it as a sum of two numbers. Okay, so you could do 8 times 50 and 8 times 4. I know that 8 times 5 is 40, so I'm going to add a 0 because it's 50. 8 times 4, okay, is 32. Done. My answer is 432. And there's different ways you could break this up, a couple different ways, but the easiest way is to just have two add-ins like I did here. You can also use it to help you solve addition problems like 48 plus 84. Okay, you can find the GCF of the two add-ins. So I'm going to do that quickly. 4 and 12 is what I thought of. 2 and 2. There's my prime numbers there. And then 3 and 4, 4, 2 and 2. So my prime factorization is 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. 84, I think of 7 and 12, 12, 4 and 3, and then 4, 2, and 2. So what do they have in common? 2 2s and a 3. No 7 over here. So my GCF is 3 times 2 times 2, which is 12. Okay? Write each add-in as a product of the GCF and another number. Here's what that means. Okay, this is a lot of steps. But 12 is the number I can pull out. And inside the parentheses, I'm going to leave what 12 multiplies by to give me 48 and to give me 84. I know 12 times 4 is 48. Okay, and 12 times 7 is 84. So here's my distributive property problem right here. I can add 4 and 7, okay, which is 11, and multiply that by 12, and that is a quicker, it might be a way that you can do that in your brain rather than adding 48 and 84. And that may not make any sense to you because you're used to doing problems like this. You're not used to doing this, but you may have to represent a problem with distributive property. Just remember, find the GCF, pull that out, and you leave the factors inside that you multiply to get 48 and 84. Okay, so which expression is equivalent to 5 times 84? Remember that this is what is pulled out, and inside the two numbers need to add up to give you 84. So look at your choices. Again, I know it's not going to be this one and this one because I'm not pulling out 50, I'm only pulling out 5. Okay, either choose between 80 and 4, 40 and 8. Again, they need to add and give you 84. So your 10s is 80, your 1s is 4. Here's your correct answer right here. Practice problem 2. Eamon uses the greatest common factor and the distributive property to rewrite this sum, 28 plus 42. So remember, this is one where you need to find the GCF, and that's the number you pull out to the front. So 4 times 7 is 48. And then there's my prime factorization of 28. My prime factorization of 42. Okay, so what do they have in common? They actually both have a 7, and they both have a 2. So multiply what they have in common for the GCF, 2 times 7. That is my GCF 14. So 14 comes to the front, and I have to think 14 times what is going to give me 28? 2. 14 times what is going to give me 42? And that is, sometimes you have to take a second and think about it. I believe that is 3. Let's make sure that's 12. Yes, okay. There we go. So your correct answer is B. So before you leave, make sure you feel like you can use the distributive property to rewrite the product of two whole numbers. That's practice problem 1. And the second is use distributive property to rewrite the sum of two whole numbers. That's practice problem 2. Thanks for watching.